Hi everybody, here at Tea Time with the Emprezz, Nubian edition. Now y'all might notice a little something different about me today. I'm like all natural, and I'm here with my boy Kory right here from Tuella, and we're gonna get down and we're gonna let y'all know what's going on this side of town right here, okay? Because I know you guys always seeing me, you know, I got cosplayers, I got authors, I got producers, I got all these things, but you know what? This man right here has really inspired me to do a lot of great things, and he does a lot of great things for animals. He does a lot of great things. I'm gonna just keep telling him about you and let him just know that you're just doing great things. If you don't even know him, you should know him, and if you do know him, he here with Soul Central Magazine, okay? Soul Central TV, Guerrilla Mafia Entertainment and Media, okay? He's here with Tea Time with the Emprezz, okay? And Kory, I want to thank you, baby, for being here with me on this day's show here with Soul Central Magazine. And you know what? We just gonna get straight up into the business right now. First thing I want to tell y'all about, okay, is like this, is that before we get into all the stuff that, all the other good things and everything that he be doing and stuff, I want to talk about your sanctuary for animals.
I'm more than happy to always talk about my sanctuary for animals. At the moment, my house is probably full of with about 25 different animals, ranging about 12 or 13 species. We got everything from turtles the size of quarters, all the way up to tortoises the size of dogs, and then dogs the size of bigger dogs.
That's big ones.
Exactly. We got a mini pig. I have blue and gold crested macaw that we just recently rescued, and then also I even have a lobster that lives in my bathroom.
Oh my goodness. Okay, don't tell me that, because I be thinking about butter and lemon and all that good stuff, just but I'm trying to be, you know, on the, you know, that conscious tip right now, you know, that humanitarian.
This one's little, so.
Oh, that ain't nothing, that's a crawfish.
Yeah, exactly. He's close to a craw.
That's a baby crawfish crawdad, okay? I thought you were talking about a big juicy lobster, you know, a big super tail, you know, something that take it up the bathroom.
I should get one.
You so crazy? You got me looking at you, doing I was like thinking, my eyeballs start twitching. I was like, yeah. I said, well, we're gonna go get some of that salt lake water that's out there, because you know nothing to live in that damn water right there, okay? For all you people out here that don't live out here on the salt flats with us, you know, you gotta understand, I got lied to when I came through from Florida about this. I thought I was gonna have some real pristine beaches. All I got was stank water. Okay, so that's why we know we ain't gonna have no lobsters up in here, because first of all, they gonna stink. Okay, you get some brine shrimp. That's exactly what you do. So what made you start your little sanctuary, your little baby zoo you got going on?
So honestly, I'm a compassionate person, and I see a lot of people who maybe thought that their animals were going to be cute and fun in the beginning, but then kind of either lost interest
like
or
snakes.
Like snakes, turtles, basically all the animals that look cute when they're small that turn big and get crazy, like crazy big. We try to take those on so we can give those animals a little bit better life than just going from being passed from owner to owner. And we definitely want to try and help save everybody, or every animal.
So so is it like when you take in these animals, is it more like a forever home thing, or is it something that, you know, you keep it and then other people can come and adopt the animals out?
So I've adopted a lot more animals out than I keep, to be honest with you. So yes, I'm always looking for people that are looking to take on an animal that's wanting to rehome it for a forever home, for sure. I will admit the ones that I fall in love with have a tendency to find their own room at my house.
That's normally how it goes. And so do you, when these people come and they want to adopt the animals out and everything else, it's from your little sanctuary that you got going on, do you educate them on the animals? Do you know, you give them, like, you know how some people may say, oh, I want this animal, but they don't know the proper care or the proper diet or all those things that they do.
I reserve the right when I'm adopting an animal out to actually see the enclosure that the animal is going to be going in, so that normally involves me going to somebody's house and checking it out. Also, I want to speak with those people and get a couple of good conversations with them, so I can get the feeling that they do understand.
So they like no psychopaths or nothing like that. They like to do crazy stuff with
Precisely.
animals. Okay.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that the animals are going to only the good homes. So I am a little bit more picky than I do just to give away the animals per se.
But that's the way you're supposed to be. You know, a lot of people got to be that way, because if you're going to be compassionate enough to take those animals in, then you got to show your passion of that, your love, that you want to make sure they're going to the same kind of environment that you, the energy that you gave to them and everything. And so that's the little thing that I want to make sure and let everybody know about that, you know, and if any people, you know, because a lot of people here in Utah and all these areas around and even around the world, don't really understand about exotic animals, and they
Oh,
don't
no.
understand about this. But you know what? That says a lot about you, because that's the next thing that we're going to be getting into. It is about the other exotic part of your life, and that's your body piercing.
Yes.
See, and that's how I always do things. I always lead something up, is because if you know, and afterwards, everybody, you know what? That if you got animals, or you want to know about snakes, turtles, all those things just like this, and you want to have them as a pet, it's best sometimes to know somebody that's already been involved with those animals and ask
definitely.
questions, you understand?
Definitely.
Before you just go spending your money on something, and then all of a sudden your baby or you get tired of it, and then you just go and let it go. Because back home, honestly, in Florida, that's why there's so many boa constrictors and reptiles and everything in the Everglades and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Because people go get these little snakes, and they be like, oh, this is pretty. Oh, you know, this is like this. And then all of a sudden they get big and it tries to attack their dog. Or they don't feed the snake, or the snake get hungry. They don't know how to, you know, do it. So first thing they do, they take a little drive at nighttime, they go drop it in the Everglades. I mean, they found big old, like, snakes with the 8 alligators
Oh,
and
yeah.
deers and all these things like that.
As a matter of fact, I believe that the Florida Fish, Game, and Wildlife Service, actually they see the boa constrictors and like the green iguana situation that you guys have out there. That's actually a big issue, and so they see them as an invasive species.
Yes,
that,
they do.
That it's to the point where if you're not out there hunting them, if you can touch them, you can't put it back into the wild. And so if you went out there just to climb a tree, grabbed a lizard, and thought it was cute, technically it's against the law for you to let that lizard go, because they don't want it inside. It's just there's such a surplus.
They're going to make you feel like you got ownership of that. And you know what? And that is just poor that's human error. Because you know what? They're not indigenous to that area. They're not really this, and that's people being able to go out there and they just thinking that, you know, like it's a new purse or a new puppy or it's something like that. And then, you know, but I believe that every animal has a spirit, that every animal has a soul, just like I believe that every plant, every, you know, life has that meaning to it. And that, you know, it's that you have to take care of those things. And it's very good that there's people out there like you that actually, that just don't look at the human perspective of it, but they look at that perspective of, you know what, that this animal, this reptile, this, you know, that they deserve the rights. It's like every one of my dogs is a rescue dog. You know, it's like, that's just the way that it is like this, and you know, from the way that I care and everything else just like this. And I just think that that's a very beautiful thing that you're doing right out there in Tooele, and that, you know what, and everybody, we're going to be able to give you, you know, his contact information and everything towards, you know, like the end, or, you know, through it and everything, that if you got any questions, feel free to ask Kory, because I'm going to tell you something, he's very knowledgeable on the things that he's doing. But right now, that's leading us up to what I really, the man, okay, we want to let you know about the compassion of the man, but now we're going to talk about, you know what, the other exotic things. So why don't you let them know a little bit about you and your piercing and your tattoo shop, your mom, all that good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. So out in Tooele, I'm actually the main piercer, and I've actually been pretty much the only piercer for the last about 6.5 years in Tooele. Our tattoo shop is called Tattoos on Vine. If you've ever heard of Hollyhock, she's the head tattoo artist there, and my mom. So hi, Mom. Hi.
How you doing?
But yeah, no, we've been the #1 tattoo shop out in Tooele now for quite some time. It's been an amazing experience. I never thought that Tooele, of all places, would be so receptive, especially to piercings, means that I'm just a piercer. I was actually kind of blown away by that, but it's kind of cool to see that Tooele, over the rest of Utah per se, has a little bit more of a progressive outlook and a progressive side, and kind of sees that people that are modified, even if it's down to, you don't have to look like me and have giant ear things that are coming off your
But I
ears.
did notice that, Kory, but that is a thing, you know, back home, everybody, I'm going to tell you something like this, the gauging of the ears, you might have seen a very few people that did that, but then that's that southern background, you know, like I'm saying, that Baptist belt, you know, that's all it is.
Yeah.
But then you got, you know, you got the rainbow children, you got the drummers, you got the pagans, and you might see that rare person that has that piercing. I've seen the piercings in the face, but I've never seen people gauge their ears really until I came here to Utah.
Utah is a big thing. One thing that I have found when it comes to the body modification scene here in Utah is, as hard as of a religious culture that we see in Utah, we have just as hard of a counterculture. And so therefore, you see a lot of Utah's youth in general wanting to more or less stick it to the man, if you will. And so you see
Stand up
them
for your rights.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
It's one of those big things where you kind of see, you know, some of the rules and regulations that are kind of imposed by certain religious groups in Utah. Definitely do not like body modifications of any form. So therefore, basically, you know, these people see that and they want to go as extreme as possible.
So they just want to go balls to the wall. They gonna go out. And it's like, if you gonna notice me, you gonna notice me big time.
Exactly. And what I'm trying to do personally as a piercer out in Tooele is I'm trying to help people see that anyone can have a body modification and anyone can be cool. You know, it doesn't, your personality type has nothing to do with you, with the way you look, in a sense.
So you're not non-judgmental, you don't be judging people. If anything, you're trying to give empowerment.
Exactly. My personal belief is that if you have gotten a piercing and you've gotten a good experience from a piercing, you are going to be much less inclined to tell somebody that they are bad for having a piercing of their own, right. or that they shouldn't get something just because that's what they want. So that's a big factor as to what I think has helped derive a lot of my popularity when it comes to being a piercer. I'll be totally honest. When it comes down to it, I don't know a lot of piercers out in. I kind of stay to myself. But so far, it's accumulated me a little over 12,000 followers in town. And if you go to Tooele and ask about the piercer, my name's the only one that comes up, so it's kind of crazy.
But you know what? But the point being is that the way I look at it is that you worked hard for that. A lot of people get a lot of fame, a lot of people do a lot of things, and they be like, oh, me, look at me, look at me, and they ain't did shit. You know, I'm just being real with you, okay? They just because they got lucky or something like this, but everything that you've done and the followers and everybody that you've accumulated, and even in Tooele, okay? Because I've been to Tooele, okay? They're pretty much, once you go through that town, that's it. Next thing you know, you're looking at another ghost town. You're looking at something else. Yeah. Trust me, I know I'd be all up in it, okay? Being a paranormal investigator out in Tooele, I'm fascinated with it, okay?
Haunted town.
I'm telling you, I'm like just ready to dig in a hole or something. But you know what? We'll keep that because you know what? Everybody already know I'm crazy. Oh. But you know what? But then what I think what I'm trying to say about the beautiful thing is that you started from the bottom and you rose up. You know, through all the adversity, through all the religious stigmas, through all the things and everything that you know what that could have came at you. You understand what I'm saying? We also know that you know that just the whole religious background. A lot of people, but then again, there's a lot of religious people that do have body modifications. Let's look at the Africans.
Oh yeah. When it comes down to it, there's only one major religious sect here in Utah that really has some outspoken opinions about it. The majority of other religious groups really do not have any problems, at least with non-extreme piercings. I see it a lot more, like I tour with metal bands for about 6 months out of every year, and so I get the opportunity to go and check out many other cities, many other states all the time. And I've come to see that Utah's a little bit different due to certain groups. Mm-hmm. But the majority of most religious groups, like you said, like the Africans, different African religions and whatnot. It's just
Hindus, there's certain people that they go and they do the body modifications. You know, just look at the Hindus. They go through their certain ceremonies and festivals. People putting pins through their bodies and everything to connect with Shiva and all of these other ones. You know, it's their way of being able to show that gratification. Because I feel that, you know what, that a lot of people that they get to that point being that they get stuck up in their head and they think they haven't traveled the world, so they don't be able to see, you know, what is going on. But I'm just going to let everybody know we're going to take a little break right now, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about Mr. Kory right here and his body piercings and all those things like this, and we're going to get a little bit more in depth about his musical and the things that he's involved in. And we'll be right back. Much love, y'all. Peace. Hi everybody, we're back here at Tea Time with the Emprezz Soul Central Magazine, Guerrilla Mafia Entertainment and Media, and I'm here with Kory. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. This has been like one of those interviews that I'm actually very, very happy to be able to do, y'all. I know I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm not talking about crack or laughing or cracking jokes or all these things just like this. And if you guys are just now coming back with us right now, and you did not be able to see from the beginning of this video, we were talking about all Kory's exotic animals and all that good stuff that was going on and everything. But you know what? Anybody who knows me knows that I'm leading up to something, okay? And we're getting to that point. And I think right before, our commercial break, we were talking about, we were just getting ready to get into body piercings and all the other good things like this, because I learned some stuff during the break, okay, that y'all don't even know, even have a clue on. So you know what, Kory, let's get right into it like this. And you're from Tooele, right?
Yeah.
And so how long have you been living in Tooele?
So I moved out to Tooele when I was 13 years old. I'm about to turn 30 now. So yeah. I'm about to be old.
I'm gonna let him lie to y'all all he wants, because I don't believe he's 30 years old.
I don't tell everyone that I'm turning 30. I just tell everyone that I'm old enough to run through hair.
Okay.
That's all that is.
Or tell them you're old enough to buy cigarettes and they keep you in that 18 range, like I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like
it doesn't matter how big the beard gets. I get checked for cigarettes and stuff. I get my ID ran every time.
Oh my God, man. I be looking at folks stupid. I'm like, damn, you know how I be saying things y'all black don't crack. Okay, it's like fine wine. Y'all gotta understand that. And so, now that we're getting more, so you've been in Tooele, so, how did you get into the body piercing scene?
So, to be 100% honest with you, I started out, I had a friend that lived with me in a commune, actually. I was a bit on the hippie side.
Ain't no wrong with being on the hippie side.
No, that is not a bad
Rainbow
thing.
children, I know all about that. I know that life.
But yeah, he was a former piercer, believe it or not, and so through all the time, he taught me a lot of knowledge and a lot of stuff, and I pretty much said, at that point, that's cool to have, I don't know if I'll ever need it or anything like that. Well, my mom, Hollyhock, was actually working for another shop at the time out in Tooele. She had decided that she wanted to start up her own shop and asked me if I would be willing to go through and be the piercer down there at the shop. Luckily for me, I had somebody at that shop that actually helped finish off what I would consider my apprenticeship, and I started piercing from that point forth, about a year into the shop being fully open.
So here in the state of Utah, do you have to have some kind of certification? You gotta get a certificate to be a body piercer? How does that go?
Here in the state of Utah, technically you have to have a business operator's permit for being a body modifications artist. And you also need to have your bloodborne pathogens certifications as well. It is also, a lot of piercers will also tell you that it's good to have an APP certification on top of that, whereas some other piercers will tell you that that's not necessarily necessary. It is more of a private certification, but it definitely does help. For a lot of people.
And legitimacy.
Yeah, it has a little bit of legitimacy too. So, when it comes to the piercings, I've been out there now 6.5 total years. I just came up on my 8,300th piercing as of January of this year. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm on track right now to hit 9,000 by the end of the year. So I'm really excited.
That's a lot of people.
Oh, I kind of think it's crazy because Tooele right now, the census out there is, I believe, like 36,000 people.
So you pierced more people than the whole population of what's living in Tooele, right?
Well, I've pierced a third of them. So yeah, I pierced a third of the population, it seems like. So
wow.
There's a lot of holes going around down in Tooele for sure.
So and so when your mom opened up the shop and everything, and you went down there and you started, doing the piercings and everything. Can you remember the very first person you ever pierced?
The very first person, oh my gosh.
What was that feeling like? What was it that you
I was terrified. I thought I was going to kill him.
Oh my God.
I was terrified. No, honestly, I don't actually remember the first person, but I do remember, honestly, the first weeks. And my first weeks were full of just fear. I did not know. I was like, am I doing things right? Am I talking to people? Am I making the right pricings? What am I doing? But once I fell into it and I fell into the groove and I kind of learned exactly on the business side of things how piercing and tattoo shops work, it really definitely gave me a lot of ease. So I was able to kind of move in, which helped me really promote my style of piercing and my personality, which is, I think, a big factor why people come to me, because they know how thorough I am now in they just enjoy the idea that I have their back through anything. I will never not be there for somebody.
So, because, as me being a person, okay, the most piercings I ever got is like the ones that's in my ear. That's natural, okay? I got that when I was a little baby. My mama got it done. It was just something that was natural. It's like a rite of passage as being, a young southern little, girl and everything like this. But when most of the people come to you, what is it? Which piercing do you do the most? What is the most requested piercing that people want?
So most requested for me out of all of it is the daith piercing. That's what a lot of people feel to be what they consider a headache piercing. A lot of people feel that it takes migraines away.
Mm-hmm.
I will professionally say I do not state that it works for headaches of any form.
We're not giving no medical advice or nothing
exactly.
like that,
Hashtag not a doctor, guys.
Not the doctor. Neither am I, okay? Go to Google.
WebMD.
Okay, not us. Okay, we ain't trying to get sued up in here. We just trying to let people know that what's some of the most popular piercings. Because it ain't just for freak nasties or none of them things like this. And normal people get pierced, all that stuff just like that and everything. Wait a minute, hold on. You said people get pierced to get rid of headaches?
Yeah.
Where the hell is that piercing at?
So it's right in your inner ear, right above your ear canal. Basically, if you stick your finger in your ear and push up.
So that one that I be seeing right there, that everybody be getting that piercing done,
it's been super popular since April of about 2016. But yeah, to date, I have actually, just the day piercing alone, I have pierced 1,065 people as of this morning. So that my most recent day piercing was actually my first piercing of the day.
So then when you go and and just say, do you have to like numb the area, or do you just tell everybody you put a stick in their mouth and like grunt down, and get ready for it? I mean, how does it happen?
Well, here in the state of Utah, technically, I believe, and don't quote me on it necessarily, but I believe you actually have to be up to a certified EMT to be able to administer any form of like anesthetic.
Oh, okay.
So we don't actually administer any numbing agents whatsoever.
So pretty much they got to go balls to the wall and take it like a champ.
We'll see, and that's the best part is because part of the piercing. I mean, it wouldn't be that fantastic of a piercing if it was an easy thing to get. So if you fight through that pain and you get through that initial piercing, you're gonna love it just that much more.
And so we're just like, okay, because this is Utah, and I'm still trying to figure out how everything, because I've seen people get piercing in some of the craziest places, okay? But what is like one of the most craziest requests that you ever had that somebody wanted to pierce?
Oh, any southern region piercing, I get those all the time.
And so they just be like, woo, here we go.
Oh yeah, drop trowel, throw it out.
Oh my God, okay. I'm just being real with you. I can't imagine somebody just say, hey, woo, swinging around in circles, say, I want me something on that.
I feel bad to say it, but there's a lot I would do for $65.
Dude, you brother than me, man. I'm like, yo, I got a shower back there. You need to go back there. You need to wash that off. You need to do something, okay?
Before we even set the appointment, I tell them they have to shower first.
Oh, see now, you talking my kind of business right there, because I'm like, I couldn't
ain't
even.
no stinky customers. We don't do that there.
So what about the people that want them piercings in their face and in their arms and all those things?
Dermals?
Yes.
Yeah, we do dermals down there as well. Basically, those are guys that actually go into your skin. They don't actually go through it. So there are some added risks and whatnot to them, but they're super gorgeous and beautiful. Many people, I probably do at least two a week on slow weeks.
So it's because I was watching this one show, and I've always been curious, and I'm glad that I'm able to be, because I believe in education. I believe that people, they just think that this, and they always think weird people do this and this and this and that. But how about that body modification when people want to look like they got horns or something like in their skin? What is that? Is that piercing, or is that something totally different?
It does go along the same vein of piercings. I definitely, as a piercer, don't consider it to be like a commonplace item. Here in Utah, there are some certain laws against doing it. So most piercers you won't find you doing some things that are super intense. But nonetheless, you will be able to out of state be able to find piercers and body modification specialists that specialize in certain things like that. There are some ones though that you just simply have to go to a doctor and find a doctor that needs to install that in you.
Oh, so there is different levels and different ways of being able to go in, and that's what I want to be able to let everybody know is that, you know what, that there is different stages and things like this, and that's very good that, you know, we have you here and that's actually able to educate people, because back home, you know, it was mostly tongue piercings and mostly getting my, oh, I'm gonna go get my belly button pierced, or, you know, or something like that. It wasn't until I came out to Utah that I started, and that's what I want to get into a little bit more about right now, and that is the gauging of ears. And I've never seen so many people with their ears, and they got preferences. It's not everybody want them big old, you know, the big hanging, you know, or everything like this, you know. It's a preference, but I noticed some people they just want their ears stretched a little bit, or they want to get a little bit bigger, and everything else just like that. So, as you as a professional, do you do a lot of people gauging of their ears and start their ears?
We have ear stretching sessions. I'm not the piercer to necessarily want your money, so I'm more or less, I like to do a good stretching session, and I will give you all the information required to learn how to do it yourself on your own properly. And then at that point, if there's any issues or any problems, you know you have me in your back pocket to come back to. But I am not the type of person that I want you to not understand what you're getting yourself into. So the best way, in my opinion, is to bring that all to the forefront before it even happens.
Just let it know. But how about, have you ever had anybody come that wanted their lips gauged?
There are a few people. I'm more than happy to give the information, but I want people to understand the risks that are also involved with that. And when it comes to certain extreme body modifications like that, I'm all for them. Like if that's who you feel like
you're not knocking it, but you know, you're just being real
exactly.
about it.
I want everyone to understand what risks are also going to be in play.
So you let them know about the life issues and what the things and everything and the education going on through that. And see, and that's a great thing is that, you know what, is that if you don't care about the people that you know that you're helping and that you're doing, because you're pretty much, these people, that they had to think a very long time that this is what they wanted to get done, and they know that this is a life issue. This is something that they're going to go through for the rest of it. This is their identity. This is them, you know, doing like this. And it's that I feel that, you know what, that it must be a, you know, a very competitive field and all those things that are going on like this. But you know what, you got to judge with your heart. You got to think about it, is that this is the person that is going to be doing this, and I'm going to have this piercing for the rest of my life. And if this person, you know, the kindness that you show and everything else is that it is, and that's a very beautiful thing that you're doing, is that, you know what, you're not just sitting there saying, oh, go do this, oh, do this and this, I'm going to charge all this money and I'm going to do this and this and that. You know, you're actually sitting down with people and you're letting them know. You know, like I'm saying, and that's what the great thing about that is, and that, you know, and I just want to let everybody know that, you know what, that if you want to go ahead and you want to get a great piercer and you want to get more in your body modifications and everything, you got to check out Kory up in Tuwela. But you know what, while we going and we talking and everything else like this, the one monkey in the room that I want to tell everybody about, swap, pop! Y'all see this right here? We got to get on the vape tip, okay? Everybody know that I'm a straight dragon, okay? I like to blow puff smoke in the dang air, you know, like I'm saying. And Kory just came today and gave me this beautiful little thing right here because I need to stop smoking and everything else just like this. I would, you know, like show y'all what's popping up, because people like, nah, that weird, she ain't gonna be doing no vaping. Well, guess what? I'm in Irie Coffee, Teas, and Bubbles, and my mama see this, I'm gonna be a problem, okay? So y'all just believe when I'm telling you, I put it to my lips, okay? That means something, you know. I did something. So Kory, let's talk about the vape.
Yeah,
the vaping.
Definitely.
Let's get down with the vape, okay? Because I know that's one thing besides the body piercing. See how hype I got it, everybody, when it came down to the vape now. Piercings and all that stuff like that. I'm a chicken. Okay, I'm like, listen, I'm like, if you lucky, I got these damn earrings in my ear. Okay? But let's get down with the vape. Tell them about you in the vape, because that is what you also are very, very well known about.
I do an awful lot for the vape community, especially here in Utah. To start, I actually own, operate, and run the Utah Vaping League. We are actually now a group of advocate vapers helping people stop smoking cigarettes. Outside of that, I'm actually a sponsored vapor, so big shout out to my sponsors, Chubby Baker, Tyrant E-Juice.
Chubbies!
Oh yeah, Chubby Baker's amazing.
I like that name, okay.
They're awesome. Also, big shout out to Beehive Vapor, and also to Diehards E-Juice. Big shout out to, oh gosh, I have a whole bunch of them. Diamond Wire.
You know it's gonna be like one of them Star Wars credits that we
exactly. Just let it roll.
Everybody be like, if we miss you, we still talking about you. We love you, okay? That's what I'm saying. So the vape scene, so you've been a very big part of that one like this, because I'm gonna tell you something. You gave me some education on some vape tonight that my husband been trying to tell me for the longest damn time, and I've been laughing in his damn face. Nah, I can't do that. I need my Newport. I mean, I actually, boys and girls, I went outside and I smoked this one, and this one's like cookie flavor, okay? And to a diabetic, that was like, you know, like shit, you know, cookies, and I ain't gonna like die from it, you know, like I'm saying. It actually tasted really dang good. So you know what? So you've been into this, you know, into the vape scene. This man's piercer. He's a damn humanitarian. He loves animals. He takes care of guys' sanctuaries, and everything else is going like that.
Just really quick too, I also collect metal bands as well.
Oh.
So yeah, you guys can actually check out some of the stuff that I've done. Honestly, if you go to Instagram, check out Clouds of Piercings. That's my profile. You can see some of the bands that I've traveled with. A lot of them are actually some of them are vapors themselves. I'm a contributor for Vape Bun magazine, so I've been writing for them for a little bit. So you can actually check out one of my most recent stories with Necro Gobblecon. I featured them.
I like the name.
Yeah.
That's a Necronomicon.
Yeah, Necro Gobblecon.
You know, you might see Cthulhu.
Yeah, you can actually check out their feature story. They're a big vaping group and heavy in the metal scene, so it was easy for me to make the connection and know that we had to be friends. So
you know what? So technically, pretty much everybody, boys and girls, all our audience from all over the world, everybody that's seeing what's going on here, Mr. Kory. This man is a jack of all trades, okay? He'll love your animals, he'll give you a piercing, you know what I'm saying? He'll get you baked up, you know, like I'm saying, he'll throw out some good sponsorship, okay? And if you really, you know, like I'm saying, if you want to get your little tunage on and stuff like that, you know, you've been touring with, you know, metal bands and all those things like this, and I know that you know what, that a lot of people after this are going to be really interested in what's going on, because this man right here is a celebrity in his own dang right. He earned every damn minute, second, hour, day, year of it, okay? And I truly here the Emprezz, I endorse Kory and everything that he's doing. And if you up here in Utah and you want to go to Tooele, and you know what, if you want to know about some animals, you know, whatever, you go and check them out. Tell them where your mama shop, where you can find out.
Yeah, you can find us at Tattoos on Vine. You can check it out on Google, search us on Facebook. You can also find me as Utah's Vape Guy, so you just need to search that. You can find @Clouds of Piercings. That's an easy way to find me as well.
So you have Instagram?
I do. So my Instagram is @Clouds of Piercings. Everywhere else is going to be Utah's Vape Guy.
So that's Twitter and everything else, so Utah Vape Guy. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this has been a this interview has been very informative. I've also learned a lot of things, you know, and I'm telling you, I think I'm about to start taking vaping, and I'm about to finally, for the first time in 2 decades, put down my Newports, because I think that they started to probably kill me, you know, stress, all that stuff just like this. And I want to thank you for being here with us, and I want to thank you for giving your time with Soul Central Magazine, here at Guerrilla Mafia Media, here with Tea Time with the Empress. And you know what? And I'm going to tell you something. Utah Vape Guy. Okay? Y'all hear me? That's what I'm talking about. If you need a piercing and you want somebody to actually care about what you're doing, I totally 100% endorse it. You know, like I'm saying, he's here at Irie Coffee Teas and Bobos. You know what, we support all those things like that. And I want y'all to check Kory out. And he just told you where you can find him at, okay? And it's, how hard can it be? Utah Vape Guy. Y'all can figure it out. And is there any other places they can find you where they need to know what's going on?
Honestly, the best place is going to be your social media outlets. You can find me on all of the major social medias. Outside of that, guaranteed, if you guys can find me at Tattoos on Vine, or literally any festival, because I'm always trying to check out all the different musical scenes and whatnot out here. So and I just want to say, if you ever see me, man, come up and say hi. I love chatting with people.
For real, he ain't stuck up. He don't mind you coming up, you know, like I'm saying. Just make sure that the man, you know, in the restaurant or something, eating some chicken or doing something, don't be coming up and they're messing with him or nothing. But everybody, you can find him right there, Utah Vape Guy, my boy Kory right here from Tooele. Tooele. And I just want to tell you thank you for being here at Tea Time with the Empress, Soul Central Magazine. And thank you, Kory.
Thank you, and I just want to tell all my followers, keep it cloudy, guys. You know that.
That's what we're talking about. Peace.
Hi, this is Kory Sagendorf, Utah's vape guy and Tooele's #1 piercer. I just wanted to say big shout out to Soul Central Magazine. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. You guys rock. Keep it cloudy.